welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something fundamental. Introversion. We're talking about, that inward focus, where you get your energy from quiet time, from reflection.
Right. It's distinct from extroversion, where people really power up from being around others, from social interaction.
Well, this isn't new, is it? Carl Jung was talking about this, back in the 1920s?
He was. He really articulated the concept. And look, it describes a fair chunk of the population, maybe 20 up to 40% globally.
Okay, but right off the bat, let's clear something up. Introversion isn't just being shy, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Crucial distinction. Yeah. Shyness, that's more about a fear of social judgment, social anxiety. Introverts don't necessarily fear people or dislike them. Many are perfectly confident socially.
So what is the difference then?
It's about energy, where you draw your energy from and what kind of stimulation feels good versus what feels overwhelming. Introverts often prefer, say, deep one-on-one conversations rather than large, maybe superficial gatherings. It's not anxiety driving it.
Right, so we're not trying to fix something here.
No, not at all. It's about understanding and maybe optimizing a natural way of being.
Okay, makes sense. So with that foundation, where does this trait actually come from? Is it something you're born with?
Well, research points pretty strongly towards genetics playing a big part. Heritability is estimated around 50%.
50%. So half of it is basically baked in from the start.
Roughly, yes. Twin studies are quite clear on this, and it's not one single introvert gene. It's polygenic, thousands of small genetic factors working together.
Fascinating. So genetics loads the gun, so to speak. But environment pulls the trigger. How does our life experience shape this?
Exactly. Environment is huge. Think about early childhood, family dynamics, even cultural norms. They all interact with those genetic tendencies. How your introversion actually looks and feels can be shaped quite a bit by your experiences. It's this constant interplay, nature and nurture.
So you have some agency in how it plays out.
Definitely. Your environment can dial that genetic sensitivity up or down.
Which brings us to the brain itself. What's actually going on neurologically? Why does a big party feel so draining if you're an introvert?
Yeah, the brain science is really insightful here. There are actual wiring differences. Introverts seem to be more sensitive to external stimuli. Think dopamine sensitivity, for instance. What feels exciting and rewarding for an extrovert might push an introvert past their optimal level of arousal much faster.
So like a busy party is just too much input.
It can be, yeah. It becomes overwhelming, draining rather than energizing. Their brains seem to run more comfortably on acetylcholine, linked to palm focus, turning inwards. That's why quiet activities like reading or deep thought can feel so restorative and, frankly, rewarding. The brain feels full more quickly in those high-stimulus settings.
Okay, so it's genuinely about processing capacity and energy, not a dislike of people per se.
Precisely.
Knowing that, then,
Yeah.
How does an introvert navigate a world that often seems built for, or at least rewards, outward energy? How do you thrive?
It really comes down to self-awareness and strategic energy management. It's not about faking extroversion.
Strategic energy management, like what?
Think of it like having a social budget. You know how much energy you typically have for social events, and you plan accordingly. Don't overspend.
Okay, budgeting. Makes sense.
And building in recharge rituals. Deliberately scheduling that quiet downtime, maybe before and after something socially demanding. It's about working with your natural disposition.
Right, honoring how you're wired. Because understanding the genetics, the brain science, it explains why those interactions can be tiring for you.
Exactly. It validates the experience. It's not a personal feeling.
And the cool thing is, our brains can change, right? Neuroplasticity.
Absolutely. Which means you can learn strategies, build resilience, adapt.
You can learn to manage that energy, avoid burnout.
And remember, introversion comes with incredible strengths. Deep thinking, creativity, often really strong listening skills, the ability to form very meaningful connections. These are superpowers in a way.
Yeah, definitely not flaws. So leveraging that neuroplasticity, managing your energy, it empowers you to shape your social world so it works for you. You lead a fulfilling life by honoring your needs, not by trying to fundamentally change who you are. So here's something to think about. How can really embracing your unique introverted wiring unlock new ways for you to thrive, maybe even contribute differently, in a world that often seems geared towards loudness? What's one small shift you could make, maybe even today, to better honor your own natural rhythm?